Hello, mixed nutcases and Dog Days of Podcasting listeners. This is Nuke Joss, and this is Dog Days of Podcasting. Welcome to Dog Days of Podcasting 2026. I think I've been doing this, 12 years now? This is my 12th year? Wow. We've come a long way. And for regular listeners of the podcast, I have not been as judicious in putting out podcasts. I'm actually... the Patreon is on pause right now because I had 2 months that I didn't put anything out, and I'm not charging anyone because of that. And I should have paused it then, but as things were, I wasn't doing anything. So, yeah, it got away from me, but that's okay. We're back for Dog Days, and hopefully Dog Days will give me the kick in the pants that I need. And sometimes, it really does. It gives you the kick in the pants. So... it is August 1st. It is a long weekend here in Canada, or at least in my province. I think in most provinces it is. Not in Quebec, and I think there might be another one or so. There's some that, Anyway, Monday is Civic, and so it's a nice long weekend. My father-in-law is here, and today was Highland Games. So we went to the Highland Games, and I will tell you that there were probably... I wouldn't say half as many people, but it was definitely a drastic reduction of people at the Highland Games. And I also felt like there was a reduction in vendors. There were a lot less interesting bands. Not that there was anything wrong, although there was one that was wrong. When they did the national anthems as part of the opening ceremonies, they do the Flowers of Scotland. Da, 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 da. Why can't I think of the title of that? Anyway, the Scottish anthem. And then they did, sang the U.S. anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. And he did both in his very long, drawn-out way. And then they did O Canada, and he did it in both English and French. But he did not use the modern lyrics, which are the current official lyrics. And that really bothered a lot of us, or at least the group I was sitting with. Tech was really not happy about it. It's like, look, you may not agree with the change, but you don't get to decide that. And for those of you in Canada... we know what the change is, but for those of you outside of Canada, it was in All Our Sons command, and it has been changed to in All of Us command. For flow, I don't understand why they didn't just say in All of Our command, but that's fine. That's fine. I agree with the change and everything, but to just kind of like go out and sing the wrong way. We didn't like that. But other than that, everything else was great at the Highland Games. But like I said, like previous years, there was a Dorina Harvey band, there were punk bands, there were all sorts of different things. And, none of the bands were bad. It just wasn't any like super exciting bands. But we had a great time. There was really good food. There was a East Coast food truck there that I was like, oh, we've got Halifax Donairs, and I was like, I have not had a Donair in forever, so of course I tried one of their Halifax Donairs, and it was good. It wasn't a Halifax Donair. I mean, it was good. It had the right meat, it had the right sauce, it had everything right. It just, I don't know. I think, they grill it a little. It wasn't. So they had the meat and they'd put the meat on the grill and then they'd make it. Whereas a donair, it's like shawarma, it's cut off the spit, and it was just a little different. I mean, it's fine. But I looked at the pizza and I was like, oh, that is totally Nova Scotian pizza, which is gross. But there were people lined up for that pizza. It was weird. But then, I had all the other stuff. I did not get haggis this year. Because our normal booth that had haggis had a flat earth, a flat earthers banner, a tent, and I don't think it was a joke. And I was just like, you know what? I can't go there. I don't even want to get into that. And then as we were leaving, I think I found another place that was selling haggis, and I was like, but I didn't realize because their chalkboard, it was just a table. It was just a table, no tent, no awning, no nothing, and a chalkboard with very tiny writing. And it was only as we were leaving that I was like, oh, it says Scottish fare on here, like the fare that you eat, food. It's like, okay. But it was great. It was very humid. I think one of the reasons why there weren't a lot of people is there were predictions of rain. We went anyway, and it didn't rain. We'd got a little sprinklings, not even a sprinkling, like you'd feel a drop or two, but that was it. No big issues. Had a blast. The caber tosses were great. The stone put was great. The hammer tossing was great. There were tug of war and rugby, and oh my gosh, these little races with the kids. Watching tiny ones there was this girl who was like half the size of another girl, and she overtook her like it was nothing. It was great. And then on one of the races, there was this little girl in the back, and she was just a twee one, right? And she's running, and she's giving it her all this whole time. But she's got these tiny little legs, so of course she can't keep up. Well, as she's doing her last lap, as she goes in front of the crowd, because there's a crowd all around this track, right? As she's going around, every group in front of her is cheering as loud as they possibly can. And then as she's crossing the finish line, everybody's cheering more than they cheered for any other kid crossing the line, because that little girl, she was last, and she was running, and she was giving it all of her heart, and it was so cute. Turns out her sister was number 2 in the race, so that was kind of cool. She was number 1 all around, and then she was the one that was overtaken by the girl half her size, who ended up absolutely nailing it in the 800 too. This tiny little thing with cute little pigtails and just going. She was really cool. But it was a lot of fun. We got to hang out with some people. We set up some camping chairs. We walked around a bunch. It was a great day outside. I am exhausted, but that was our day. It was a great day, and I keep feeling like it's Sunday. I keep having this weird thing where my weekends feel much shorter, but it's a 3-day weekend, and I've got tomorrow off, and I've got the next day off. I am so excited. So, been listening to a couple of the episodes that have already been put out today. Really excited to hear everybody's voices. They're already filtering in. I think Clinton was the first one in my feed. I giggled. I'm a huge Greek myth buff. I took a lot of courses in college. I was really into it. And I just had so much fun with that Odyssey retelling. That was quite funny. It was kind of reminding me of the Masterpiece Audio Theater when they were trying to put on productions. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Paul Mackey. I have at least one point. I am not sure about the other one, but yeah, those little yogurt pots, they are really useful for other little things. I use them all over the place. So I knew the answer to that one. That one I knew. So that was really exciting. And I'm pretty sure I know the ball one. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone else. Listening to the encaffeinated one, that one was kind of cool, hearing him walking. And I gotta say, your mic is definitely working. It's coming out pretty good. Yeah, I can't wait to hear. I heard Chris. I heard Michael Butler. I heard, who else did I hear? There's somebody else. Who am I missing? Anyway, heard a bunch of, I'm going to forget somebody. I always do. But really exciting to hear people in my ear holes. I'm excited that we're back to dog days, and hopefully this will give a little bit of rejuvenation going. So yay. Oh, and if you tuned in this long and were like, what is this dog days thing she's talking about, because you haven't been around previous years, sorry about that. Dog Days of Podcasting. Go to dogdaysofpodcasting.com. And it is a challenge where a bunch of podcasters get together and they record something or try to record something at least once a day and release something once a day for the month of August. It was always about 30 days leading up to Dragon Con originally, but I think there's probably more people that do it now that don't go to Dragon Con. But there's definitely a regular crew that goes to Dragon Con. And it used to be it would start on different days, all based on when they'd finish up with Dragon Con. But people like me are like, no, I'm just going to do it August 1 through 31. So we kind of ruined it for everybody else. But yeah, the Dog Days of Podcasting. So go to dogdaysofpodcasting.com and you can find the mega feed and listen to everybody else in there. There is the Dog Days of Podcast or DDoP Peeps group on Facebook, which is really fun to have that cross back and forth. I know there's a lot of people who are like, what? You're still on Facebook? Yeah, I'm still on Facebook. This is one of the main reasons for Dog Days. So Dog Days of Podcasting, so the challenge is for podcasters to release a podcast a day, and also listeners get to participate in the challenge of being able to listen. You may not listen to everybody. I will say that most of us are about 5-10 minute episodes. This is going a little long because I'm explaining it, but usually about 5-10 minute episodes, and every now and then you might get a long one because somebody's regular show is going to be in there. Nobody expects you to listen to every single one, but there's quite a lot of them. So you might just do it. But it's all about how you want to do the challenge. So dogdaysofpodcasting.com, check it out. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Nutty Bites is produced by Nimlas Studios under a Creative Commons Attribution No Commercial Non-Derivatives 3.0 International License. That means you can't change it without my permission. You can share it and send it to your friends. Just link back to me, my site, and everything. We live at nimlas.org, which has links to everything social media, including facebook.com/group/nuttybites and patreon.com/nukejoss, or call 347-NUTTY42. Nutty Bites is produced by Nimlas Studios under a Creative Commons Attribution No Commercial Non-Derivatives 3.0 International License. That means you can't change it without my permission. You can share it and send it to your friends. Just link back to me, my site, and everything. We live at nimlas.org, which has links to everything social media, including facebook.com/group/nuttybites and patreon.com/nukejoss, or call 347-NUTTY42.